Hello, and welcome to Alchemy Mindset. I'm your host, Anna Hastie, business mindset coach for women and a sound healer. If you are ready to become the most aligned, magnetic, and confident businesswoman you are worthy and deserving of being, then this show is for you. This is where I share everything from mindset, energy, and spirituality, and how to embody your future self in business and life. Sprinkle that with deeply relaxing sound healings and meditations, and you have the Alchemy Mindset podcast. Hit subscribe so you always get the latest episode. Now let's begin. Hello, and welcome to this interview on the Alchemy Mindset podcast. I have to say, I am so lucky to have supported some incredible women in business, and Leah Rakabundel is not only a past client I have supported through mindset work, but also a dear friend and a fellow mama of two girls. Leah is a Broome-based artist and mother creating from the heart. She is passionate about the healing and uplifting power of art for individuals and communities. Her art forms include painting, drawing, textile art, murals, screen painting, and community arts. She currently has a strong focus on weaving and sharing this practice with other women in circles. Leah's business is currently in a transformational place of change and growth where she is working to infuse and include her passions around health and healing foods, as well as Reiki and energy practices. I asked Leah to come onto the show to share not only her experience of working with me across 2 mindset programs over the last few years, but also her journey into starting her business as an artist. In a world where many still believe that you can't make money as an artist, Leah shares some incredible insights and reflections on her own journey, as well as offers advice to anyone wanting to take that leap into being an entrepreneurial artist. You'll love listening to Leah as she has such a natural and easy way of sharing her decision to take that leap of faith and follow the intuitive nudges to leave a job of security to follow her dreams as an artist, to rewiring self-doubt and healing past experiences that were holding her back from some of the most incredible aligned art commissions to date. We also talk about how Leah has changed the way she works to incorporate motherhood and the new direction she has been called to follow within the realms of the work she does. Leah has some great advice and wisdom in this conversation, and I am so honored to have recorded it for you. Enjoy this episode, and please don't forget to give Leah a shout out at Leah Rakabundel _art on Instagram. And if you really like this episode, please don't forget to follow and subscribe, give it some 5 stars, put a little review in, because it really does help make this episode and this show reach more listeners, more ears, and help impact and make the world a different and better place. Welcome, Leah. Welcome to the Alchemy Mindset podcast. It's such a pleasure to have you here with me today to talk all about you and your business in the art world and what you do, as well as for you to share with the listeners your experience of having received now 2 coaching programs with me over the last few years, really, right?
Yes, amazing. Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here. And I love your podcasts. I love all of your offerings. I love your energy.
No, don't stop. Keep listening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's so lovely for you to say that. Okay, I love it how you've got is that lemon water? I've got my celery juice. So we're all equipped for a great conversation. Okay, so Leah, I just would love you to start by telling what led you to starting your own business in the art sector.
Okay, it really was a lifelong calling. I can remember since I was a little girl just drawing and painting and creating and being like, yeah, this is what I'm here to do. I love art. It's what lights me up. And I actually enrolled straight out of high school to do art at university, and it didn't quite go to plan. And I left after a few months and got a bit redirected and ended up doing another course and working a lot in health promotion and outdoor adventures and with Aboriginal communities, and then started to incorporate my art into the youth and community sector and the work that I was doing. So it's like the art path found its way back to me. And I had the calling, but I was still kind of stuck in the 9 to 5 grind. And it was actually a beautiful sound healing I did with you during COVID in 2020, where I had this really big message saying, quit your job, quit your job, quit your job. And I had a follow-up chat with you, and it really just helped me manifest what it was that I wanted. And really, you were like, if that message is coming through, you got to listen to it. And it was like, okay, why am I blocking this and going, no, I need to pay my mortgage. I've got to stay in this job that I'm unhappy in. And yeah, you were actually a big part of me taking the leap and just having faith that this was my dream, this was what would make me happy. And yeah, just planting seeds of what I really wanted to be doing. And it all started flowing in. It was amazing.
Oh, unreal. I love that you've just shared something so clear that, and I think it's something that we all forget, or like you said, you have that voice coming, you have that message, you have that download in whichever way it comes through. And for you, it came through a sound bath. For some people, it may come through other means and forms, but it's constantly tapping at the door saying, you're not happy doing what you're doing. This isn't your life path. This isn't your journey. This isn't what you're here to do. And isn't it funny how it just keeps persisting until you actually take notice of it and go, all right, you know what? And this is the scary thing. I'm actually going to let go of the reins and trust this process and this message I'm receiving, and that I'm going to be okay. Because I know from my own experience, and I'm sure you can validate this right now with your experience, that letting go of the reins and trusting and knowing that you're going to be still supported financially through whatever you're going to do is a huge, big decision to make, right?
It's huge. And especially when we've been programmed or watched out at how our parents have lived and worked, to really just do something so different and be like, okay, I'm going to just design my own life how I want it to be, is it takes a lot of trust in the universe. And I didn't act on that message straight away. There was still a little bit holding on, and I ended up getting really unwell for about a month. The universe just kept telling me, come on, we're giving you this message. And it was really after that I was like, okay, this job is so stressful that it's actually making me unwell. It's really time to make this move. And I haven't looked back. It's been incredible.
I just get such big goosebumps and confirmation about that decision you made and the message that the universe just gave through to you. Like, you've got to do this because this job is making you so unhappy and so unwell. And I feel that's one thing that, like, as human beings, we have learned to live in the realm of pain, right? And discomfort, and just be like, oh, this is normal for me, and I'm just going to put up with it, without realizing that is a huge message from your higher self, from source, universe, God, whoever, that you are not happy or well or living your full potential in that way. And you're causing a cycle of discomfort or illness or dis-ease within you, and it's manifesting in some shape or form. That's not normal. Okay, we're not designed to live in pain, but we have overridden the system within us to deal with pain.
Yeah. And before I took this decision about my work life and my dreams, what I wanted to do with that, I'd really started a physical healing journey around a year earlier, and really was in a process of unlearning a lot of things that I'd been doing. And yeah, this whole kind of rewiring and healing of yourself is an ongoing journey, and it takes place in all these different realms, with your health, with your work, with your relationships. So it was just such a timely, beautiful, I've got goosebumps now thinking of it, you know, having that connection with you and you giving me that extra nudge and a few tips about manifesting, and the magic just all started aligning. And I got an offer, you know, to facilitate art at a rehabilitation centre, and it was perfect. I had my little girl who was about 1.5, so everything was just slotting in perfectly, and I still was earning the same amount that I was at the other job. And it was like, wow, this can happen. These beliefs that we have can really shut down the potential of all the magic that's out there for us.
Oh, that's such an incredible story that you've just shared. And I really do hope that inspires others to take note of all those messages that they're hearing and receiving and going, okay, if Leah can do it, so can I, you know? So
Yeah.
then at what stage did you decide that you needed mindset support and coaching? Because we did two different programs, one recently and one, I'd say it was around about that time when you were experiencing this shift and change within your work. What made you think, oh, I might need some support within my mindset?
So it was, yeah, probably about a year into working in my own business and having a lot of really great opportunities come through, and working on a group exhibition with some other mums around motherhood. And I followed you online and always really resonated with a lot of the things you shared, and thought, oh, I've had a massage with you years ago when you were in your different kind of business. I've had this beautiful sound healing. I see you around town and your energy is just so vibrant and magnetic. And I really resonated with what you were doing and what you were sharing, and thought, come on, you can invest in yourself. And again, it was a bit of doing things differently that I always would have put off or said, oh, no, I'm not going to do that for me. XYZ comes first, or these family members come first. So it was really just, okay, let's level up and learn more, and you deserve this and your business deserves this. And it was incredible.
If you can rewind the clock and remember some of the things we worked on, do you want to share with the listeners what some of the transformation that we went through together? I think one that really always stands out in my mind is how we did healing around a past experience you had with a previous employer and job place, and how that in itself shifted your energy and mindset towards other opportunities that were flowing your way.
Yeah, sure. There was so much magic, but definitely that one really stands out. I'd had a really bad past experience where I'd been really yelled at quite aggressively by someone, and it was shutting down my energy a lot, where I was a bit scared that would happen again. And you helped guide me through a beautiful forgiveness ceremony using the Ho'oponopono prayer, which I previously wasn't aware of. And I still use that prayer going forward whenever I feel like, okay, I need to forgive someone or forgive myself. And it's such a beautiful practice. But I remember doing that, and not only that person who I had that energetic tie with came in, but a lot of other people just kind of popped into my vision, and it was like, oh, I've got a lot of ties I really need to break this energy. And it just opened me up and gave me my confidence back, and the fear of that happening again really faded away. And just to trust that was a learning experience, and don't hold on to it and let it block all these future opportunities.
And then I might ask, were there any other things that stood out for you within that course? Because I know what unfolded afterwards. Like, I know what was happening during this time and what you were aiming for, but were there any other things that unfolded for you during that time?
Yes, there was so many. There was blocks around money, and this belief that I was going to run out of money and end up on the street, and this real fear around money that you helped me really shift, and it just opened up so much space in my conscious mind. And it was like, I'm okay. I've always been okay. It always flows in. So there was the money, and there was a really big thing around my heart was wanting to do murals. And I kind of had these beliefs that there's not enough work out there, or maybe I'm not good enough, or I'm not getting these jobs even though I want to, and I'm getting more jobs in different areas, working with community groups. And yeah, we had a road trip coming up with my little girl and my husband down south. And my dream was really to do murals on this road trip and find clients who wanted some art in their space or their business. And you helped me really call that in the most magical way. And I ended up getting two of my most favorite big mural projects. And I had a sound healing with you during that course, which gave me a prompt to contact a business, which I never would have thought of. And it was just like, okay, I've got this message. Let's contact this incredible business in this little town down south that's really well known for making healing oils and products, and totally aligned with everything that I do and how I live my life. And they were like, yeah, we'd like to have a mural. And I couldn't believe that they even replied, let alone that it manifested into this incredible project.
That was amazing. Like when you said to me, I've got this calling to contact, we're going to call them Tinderbox because that's the business name, and people should look up Tinderbox, see what they do. And if you can, and if you ever go visit their shop, go have a look at this mural that Leah painted. But when you said I'm going to contact them, I'm like, that is amazing. And it does take courage and confidence to do that, to actually approach someone, another business or whoever it is, and say, hey, this is what I do. Would you be interested? And knowing that, again, you acted on something that you were called to do. And of course, it's manifested and it's happened. And it was such an incredible experience. Like it's something that's on your resume that when you go to visit that shop again and where they produce all their amazing products, your work is there, right? Your work is there.
Yeah, it's incredible. And I remember being there and painting it and just feeling like, wow, you really can plant these seeds of these incredible ideas and they can come to fruition in quite a short amount of time. And then the other project I had was on this beautiful family's property in Donnybrook, and they let us camp in their backyard for a week. And they had this big sea container that I totally transformed into this epic mural with wildflowers and whale sharks and all these cool things that had meaning for them. And it was just such a confirmation that I was worthy, that people wanted my art, and that these amazing big dreams can come true.
Yeah, absolutely. When you told me that and I was following you on Instagram, I was like, yay, Leah, this is wonderful. Like you're living your dream. You're living what you're feeling the calling and you're inspired to do. Like you're doing this and it's
Yeah,
having such great success for you and your business, but also the impact it's having. Like that family's now got a beautiful sea container that would probably look more rusted and horrible just sitting in the backyard, but now it's got like meaning for them and a beautiful backdrop for whatever they're going to use it for. It's such an inspiring and special message that you're sharing because it is the truth. You follow the nudges, you follow the prompts, and it does lead to most amazing aligned opportunities, right?
100%. And really, being part of that mindset coaching experience with you allowed me to really trust those messages a lot more and connect with them. I had another one come through with you, I think, in that sound bath that was like, go and buy that iPad pen. Go and buy that. I'd wanted to for so long learn how to do digital illustration, and I'd been blocking myself like, oh no, I must do a graphic design course first, or I must do this first. And I literally was like, I'm going to buy that iPad pen. I'm going to watch a YouTube video. And before you know it, I was off just doing these incredible illustrations on Procreate. And it helped me with my whole mural side of the business because I could do my designs on there, which was much faster than using paints and pens and bit by bit. And it opened up a whole new world for me too within my business of what I can offer. And another real golden nugget that you gave me, because I was a strong believer in frequencies and energy, and you really married it together with my art and said you can put an intention into your art, it can hold a frequency. And I really started to do that carrying forward. Like I want the people looking at this mural to feel the magic of the healing powers of these botanical plants or whatever it is that I was painting. And surely enough, people would say to me exactly what I'd put in my intention. Wow, this really makes me feel like XYZ. And it was incredible to be able to add that into my work, which you really taught me.
That's amazing. I love that too. I do actually remember telling you that. Going, yeah. Because yeah, I find that the people that I work with, they've got incredible gifts like yourself. Like you are a healer in your own realm of art. And even now what you're feeling the calling to move into and inspired to share, which we'll move into a little bit in a moment. But we all have these gifts and these talents and these abilities, and we're all healers in some shape or form. And it's through our work that we do that we're inspiring healing, or we're creating love, or we're helping people be better within themselves. And your niche, your realm, your business, your world is art. And for some people, it may be like aromatherapy, or it may be making candles, or it may be in some form, shape, whatever it is. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the healing arts or in the spiritual realm or in the health and well-being realm, but whatever they do, like maybe it's making t-shirts, right? But maybe it's setting that intention behind what that product or service you're doing creates healing, right? It has a frequency, it has an energy, and it is received and felt by others. And hearing you say that your artwork, you're infusing that intention in there, and for people to receive this healing or a message or feel inspired by something, whatever, and that you're getting the confirmation that this is the truth, then yeah, there's nothing stopping you. It's like, yep, this is what I'm doing. I'm here to create and heal people through the art that I do.
100%. And yeah, you definitely leveled me up into bringing a lot more magic into my business, which I'm forever grateful for.
I know. And that's what we need. We do need magic in business. Otherwise it gets too serious, right? And then we're all like, we might as well just go back to being in a serious job. I think in leading people into realizing that the work you do can be what you are called or feeling passionate to do. Everything is possible, right?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can think it, if you can visualize it, it really can come true in this earthly life.
So then recently as well, you then signed up for a 90-minute coaching session with me. What had changed or shifted within your mindset between the time we finished the first longer coaching program, which was a few years ago, into now? What did you feel like you needed some more support on, or what sort of had shifted or changed within you where you're like, oh, I need some more coaching to support me in the next stages or phases or whatever was happening for you?
Yeah, sure. A massive thing that happened was I had my second little girl very close to the time where you had your Baba Ava. So it's really sweet that they can hopefully grow up together and be little friends.
And also, just for the listeners, we actually live around the corner from each other. So literally, we should have just been in the same room having this conversation.
So with each birth, I feel there is a huge transformation for the mama too. And Soraya kind of led me to really get into my weaving side of art a lot more. And I know after I had her, I found it really healing and grounding to do my weaving every night when the girls were asleep, to just bring me back to myself. Having two little kids is a wild ride, and just connecting back to myself and really regulating myself was just so beautiful. And it really connects us with, I just feel so strongly that all the women before us were weaving together. And no matter where we come from in the world, our ancestry, they wove, they made baskets, they made different things. And I really feel that through weaving. And so I was hosting regular weaving workshops and having a really beautiful time connecting with women, and just feeling a calling to transform my business a bit more with some of my other passions, which is healing through food and natural medicines, and also the spiritual side of things. So I had all these ideas really floating up around and above me, and I thought I would really love to connect with Anna again to help whatever's blocking me to take that step and that lunge again to transform my business, because the calling is there and it's not going away. And it's like, come on. I was getting messages like, just, it doesn't have to be fast, but you got to keep moving forward with this. Yeah, I reached out to you and it was amazing once again.
Yay, amazing. I loved our session. We did actually end up doing, so within the 90-minute session, we did the coaching call for the 90 minutes, and then you received the 5 days of WhatsApp support afterwards. What were some of the big shifts that you found within that specific 90-minute coaching session with me?
Sure. I realized that one of the big things that was blocking me was this belief around, I'm not qualified enough for this, I haven't done enough courses, all that kind of thing that can hold us back. That the path should look like this. You do the course, then you're qualified, then you can start doing the thing. And it's like, actually, I have all this incredible lived experience of helping to heal myself from all these mystery conditions and of being a carer for my dad. And I've been researching and studying this for so many years. And I am ready to share in a certain capacity because I'm so passionate about sharing this information for others who are seeking it. And again, with the spiritual side of things, I am doing more courses, but it was really around the health and the healing. You helped me to shift this belief that I wasn't qualified enough, I wasn't ready, that people would judge me and think, who are you saying this stuff?
Yep, absolutely. And that one was a really big one because that one took you from that place of having self-doubt about whether or not you were qualified, and then really moved you into that space of actually, like you said, I've got the knowledge, I know this, I've practiced this on myself, and I've helped my dad in his health and well-being. I can create the capacity and a way of offering this to others. And you'd also said, like, now being a mother of two, you'd actually had a lot of other mums approach you and say, because you share a lot of the foods you make for your girls and what you're eating, and you had a lot of mums actually say, how can I do that for my kids? Like, how can I make some of the things that you do? What would you do in this sense? And you were finding that people were approaching you and wanting this knowledge that you knew you had, and that you're like, okay, right, I'm ready to share this. Maybe I shouldn't doubt myself so much.
Definitely. I was like, Leah, you're already doing this and you've got a calling to really share recipes and do cooking classes. And how amazing, because there's people out there that just don't know which way to turn. They know they want to shift something in themselves. And maybe by offering this, there are people out there looking for it. And I'm just so excited about expanding and really working with you. There was also another thing around like the admin side of things and setting up events, and you really helped me to clear that and become laser focused.
Yes, that's right.
And in like 30-45 minutes, where it was taking me hours before because I was getting distracted. But another beautiful thing I wanted to share with you was I wasn't sure what I wanted to call my new business. And after we'd done that mindset work, the name dropped in really beautifully. And I've been working with my big girl Kiki on the logo. So we're on Procreate together and she's dropping colors into the designs and everything is flowing and it's beautiful.
Oh, beautiful.
And I'm enjoying that, because that old kind of like, got to do it now, got to do it fast. It's like, that doesn't work with motherhood when you've got two little ladies in your life. It's just take it slowly. Don't feel like you're not doing enough or moving fast enough.
Absolutely. And I think that's one thing you and I both shared and we resonated with, was that I know from when I had Ava, leading up to her birth, I just wanted to down tools. I wanted to hibernate. I didn't want to do any more work. I just didn't have that energy or desire or drive. But as soon as she was born, it was like, pow, ready, world. I am ready. Come at me. And yet I felt very anchored back because I had this tiny little baby who was deeply depending on me. So there was no way for me to move fast and forwards in my business in the way that I felt this energy and drive and like surge come through me, because I was being anchored back to be with Ava. And look, let's say that's not a bad thing. I love my little baby. And I know you love your girls deeply as well. So we both were expressing at times, what felt like frustrations, right? As women, being mothers, we want to be there and present with our kids and enjoy the experience and be with them, because look, they're only little for so long, and then next minute they're going to school or they're going around to friends' places and we're sort of the taxi. But at the same time, having this energy and drive that we just want to shower the world with all our offerings and our business, and we're just feeling so excited by it. It's a thing, isn't it? I don't even know what to describe it as. I'm not going to say it's a juggle, but it's like a yo-yoing or a seesaw between two loves and trying to harmonize both energies so that you don't feel like you're not being present or less in one, but you're also giving and holding space in another, right? Like it's trying to spread the magic and also feel like you're moving forwards with purpose and intention, and that it's having an impact, or you're doing the things within your business because your business is what ultimately drives and brings in money, right? Money is the thing that we receive from the work that we do. So when we're not receiving the money and there's no we're not able to do the work, then it's a whole myriad of like frustrations and thoughts and feelings. Am I right?
Totally. And I've spoken to a lot of mamas who, after the birth of their babies, get this incredible creative surge and all this inspiration and ideas. And just how you said, you've got this little baby to look after. Like, how are you supposed to make these ideas come to fruition? So I've done a lot of surrendering, and I kind of scribble them down or write them down and think some of these will, and some of these seeds might be planted for a later time. So yeah, it is a juggle, just having so much that you want to create, all of this inspiration, and really being brought back down to earth and surrendering and going, okay, this time I have to do a bit of, and just take things as they come.
Absolutely. And I think that's one thing I've learned, and I've shared with many. Your business has its own timeline that is unique to you. And a business is not a sprint, and it's not defined by a series of like finish points. It's a marathon in a sense. And it's something that should be this long-lasting legacy that you're creating and you're wanting to leave for your girls or generations or whoever. Unless you're gearing your business to be one day sold, that's the end goal, right? But if your business is to be the length and the journey of your lifetime and beyond, it has no finish point. So why is there a massive big rush or race to have everything done right now? And that's the one thing I think it's like surrendering into motherhood means also sometimes we just have to surrender into the business as what it is in its version right now, and knowing that's okay, and that the time and space will be available when we are ready to move forwards and when that can happen. And I know for a fact, and I've often said to others that when we do call in time, and I know I remember saying this to you in your first coaching session with me, we can call in the time, we can call in time. And in actual fact, what I've been learning and playing with is the fact that we can bend time, but we are time. We always think that time is this external entity that we're having to reach, but it's not. Time is us. We are the manufacturers of our time, is our own energy. Time is not an external entity. We can call in time, but when the time does come in, to acknowledge that is the time to do the work that you want to do. It's not the time to be like, oh, I'll just go do some more washing, or I'll go put I'll do something else, which probably is just as important. But is that going to push the needle in your business in that moment in time? Is that going to help bring some dollars in? Is that going to put you one step closer to working on a project or fulfilling something or calling in clients or whatever? Housework can wait. Daily life things, unless it's like you've run out of underwear, all that stuff washing can wait, right? It doesn't have to be done right now. Calling in time, we can do that because we are time and we have the ability to work with time. Time isn't external to us, although we believe it is, because we wear watches and we see it plastered on laptops and walls and things like that. But time is us. When we do have the time, we just need to acknowledge that this is the time for me to do this. And some days, I know you're the same, Leah. Some days we have like beautiful mornings where we can sit down and create and be in our business. And then other times we have to just stay up a little bit later than usual or pass bedtime off to our husbands or partners so that we can get a little bit of extra time within our business to do the things that we need to do.
Yeah, definitely. We have to be creative with how we schedule ourselves. And yeah, I do a lot of things in the evenings, and it's my peaceful time where everyone's asleep and I'm creating. But I also have to be mindful that I'm not up too late. Otherwise, I get tired. So it's like some early nights, some creating nights, a lot of weekend things. I do most of my events on weekends, and we're blessed to have beautiful, supportive partners who work with us on our business and allow us the space to slot in all our exciting offerings.
Yeah, absolutely. How have you found motherhood has changed the way that you do art or work within the realm that you do, industry that you do?
Changed everything epically. I remember after having Kiki being like, all right, I need to figure out a way to make art fast because I've got little pockets of time. And it was like the way I was creating art changed. I was doing little quick pen sketches and then sticking a bit of collage fabric on them. And I did this whole series about these funny moments in motherhood because I was like, this is so funny and I want to capture this. Like, all these things about not being able to go to the toilet on your own or having all this washing and your husband being like, see, I'm going for a surf. And you're like, hang on, what? Now we're little, I finally got a minute to shut my eyes on the couch for a moment, and your husband comes back. I think she's hungry again. And it's okay. Only I can help with that. And all these moments, I was like, I need to capture this because otherwise you'll forget. And so I made a series of artworks, which mothers really enjoyed and had a good laugh at. And then I started to include Kiki in my artwork because I literally couldn't not. She was just there and seeing me painting and is, Mum, I'm getting in on this, you know. So she has done quite a few artworks with me where I'd let her like paint the background, and it'll be this cool, abstract, bright, just a little toddler going wild with the paintbrush. And then I'd paint something on top of it. And we actually have sold a few of those artworks, and they just became so much more magical and meaningful for me to know that we were creating together. So, yeah, my girls are a big part of what I do. And I see in the future, like Kiki and I running workshops together for kids. So as much as I love to create on my own, I really also love it with the girls, even though it's wild and it's messy. And for them to see their mum running her business and following her passion and then being a part of it, I think is a beautiful gift for me to be able to give them and include them in.
Yeah, that's magical. I love that. That's so lovely. I think it's great that you have a business where you can incorporate and welcome in your daughter's creativity as well. Do you think Soraya is going to be involved in this as well?
She's pretty wild with the paint. So we've recently been painting some big rescued sea floats, or buoys, as you'd call them. And you actually came to my recent workshop. So a lot of the pearl farms up here, they must break free and they end up getting washed ashore. And a lot of people collect them. And yeah, we've just started a bit of a really cool new idea of painting them after a friend of mine asked me to paint some for him, and all these other people going, oh, hey, can we do a workshop? I want to do that too. So we've been painting some of those, and Kiki will say, can I paint this area? And Soraya, who we call Sissy, wants to get amongst it, but she's only 16 months. The directions don't really filter in. So she's painting me and Kiki, and pretty wild. We're trying to just keep her to the crayons at the moment. But yeah, she definitely is let me get amongst it.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it that you can share what you do with your girls and that inspires their creativity as well. And this is mum's work. You can't be involved, but this is mum's work and I want you to be involved. I think that's really special. Yeah.
I kind of did feel at the beginning I wanted it to just be for me, but I've really had to just allow it and really embrace it and go, okay, this, even though it slows things down and it gets a bit wild, it is so beautiful and so enjoyable for them.
Amazing. What I would love to know is just going back into mindset and being an artist. What would you say, from witnessing other artists in your industry and sector, what would you say some of the biggest mindset struggles come up for artists who are wanting to pursue art as a job?
Yeah, so there's some really big ones that you hear a lot. And one of the big ones that I know definitely I experienced for a long time and I hear is that a lot of artists just simply don't know if their work is good enough. And it's such a visual thing that goes out there and gets judged. And yeah, sure, some people won't like your work and that's fine. But that fear of kind of, not getting good feedback or people not liking it can hold a lot back from even putting a work into an exhibition. And I remember the first time I put work into the Shinju Art Award and that real like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be judged. People are looking at my art. And it's a big thing to overcome for a lot of artists, I think. Whereas now I'm really like, I know there are a lot of people who love my art. And I know for some, it's not their thing. It's too bright. It's too busy. It's too this. It's too that. And that's fine. We're all different and we're allowed to like or not like whatever it is that we want. I know that's a big one. And another one as well is, and I remember when I did art at uni, we were told this in the first week. And it's like, this is one of the only degrees where you're not actually going to have a job when you finish it. And it's like, well, what am I doing getting this big debt here? Very hard for artists to get a job. That was the belief that I had, and that you've got to just make paintings and sell paintings. not that you could work in all these areas with your art. You could work with groups, you could work with women, you could do murals, you could do workshops, you could be a graphic designer. Like, it's huge and it's wanted and it's needed. And I remember at a time having another belief that there was already enough art in the world. Like, how could anyone want my art? There's enough out there already. And these things, which are totally limiting and untrue, can really hold us back from taking that step and going, okay, I guess I just got to do a 9 to 5 job and be safe and secure here. But yeah, I'm so glad I've moved beyond those.
What would you say to someone who would come up to you and say, look, I really admire what you're doing, Leah, and I found that I feel like what I'm offering to the world isn't good enough. I've had some really bad feedback and I just don't think this is going to be for me. What would you say? What would your words of wisdom be to someone in that position?
I'd say to them, does it light you up? Is it soul food for you? Do you feel like this brings you joy? And if it does, then you're here to do this. And if you are struggling with how to move forward with it, do a mindset course or speak to someone who can help clear those blockages. But I think we know in our heart what it is we love. And if creating is something you love, then you're here to do it. And it's not just something that you do when you're a little kid and then it fizzles out and now you got to be boring. It's like, no, keep going. Yeah. And for those that aren't ready to step into their business, it's like, make sure you're giving yourself time to create, even if it's little, but that'll get that energy moving that's inside of you. And it just keeps growing and growing once you allow it the time and you honor it.
Yeah, that's such great advice. I think that's so true, is that perhaps we see sometimes going into business as a big leap, and it can be because, like we said at the start, letting go of the reins of something that provides security and stability to going in and out on your own and knowing that this is a big world of the unknown, it can be really scary. But if, like you said, you just start small and build up, sometimes it has to go beyond the hobby. If you're wanting to make something of it, making that more full-time, do small projects that you can be satisfied and happy and get the experience with while you're still doing your other job. I like to call it like that part-time passion, but the part-time passion to eventually to be in a place where you're like, you know what, I'm ready to go full in. I'm ready to do this on my own. I've got the experience. I've got the knowledge. I've had some great feedback. I've got the support. And even within the mindset stuff, I've cleared blocks. I'm aware of them, or I've got ways I can navigate them when they do come up, that you have that confidence to take that bigger leap into running your own business.
100%. And just knowing that it is going to feel uncomfortable when you take the leap, and there are going to be bumps in the road, and it's all part of the journey, and you learn from all of these things. Like, my path hasn't been easy, but I know in my heart and in my soul it's what I'm here to do, and to keep sticking with it. And the thought of looking up a job and applying for something just, oh, no. I
know. I sometimes have those moments too where I'm like, is this what I'm meant to be doing? I haven't actually ever been seek or even browsed another job. I think you do the same as what I would do. You just test it within your body and your mind and you go, could I work for someone else? How would I feel if I took up another job? And then you're just like, nah, I think this is where I'm meant to be. I'm just going to persist and just work through all these little challenges and niggles that are coming up, because this is what I enjoy doing far better than anything else.
Totally. Yeah. And being uncomfortable, that's where the growth lies. So it's not going to feel like, oh, yeah, everything's ready. It's perfect. I'm comfortable. It's like, if you're waiting for that time, it may not come. Go, right, I'm doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. That is such a good message. I'm so glad you shared that. So glad. And just one last question here, Leah. Just one last question, because you've shared so much amazing wisdom in our conversation today. And I'm so grateful that you've been here to talk about your journey and your experiences within the art world and mindset coaching. But if you had your time again, what would you do different? Would you do anything different, or would you still do everything as you've done it now?
I kind of have a foot in both doors, because I look back on my journey and say, okay, I learned a lot from all those parts that were uncomfortable. But at the same time, I think there was a good chunk of time there where I wasn't really creating, because I'd kind of shut off that dream, and what could have I created in that time? So thinking about whether I would
do anything differently on this journey. I truly believe if I had learnt about these mindset practices earlier in my life, I think I could have been creating a lot more sooner and maybe been on a different timeline. But at the same time, you are kind of connected to your journey and go, I had to go through that to learn. So I have a foot in both doors that, wow, what possibilities could there have been if I learned this when I was younger? And I'd love to actually pass on a lot of this knowledge to my girls when they're younger, because learning and getting assistance with how to clear a lot of those limiting beliefs is truly life-changing, and it can just keep flowing on in so many ways. And I was really grateful for the time I spent with you, because it didn't just impact my business, it impacted everything.
Yeah. It's that beautiful ripple out effect, right?
Totally. Yeah. And I'm able to share a lot of that and support other friends and family when they're going through these things, and to recognize it and be able to pass on a lot of those gems of wisdom that you shared with me. So it really does keep going. And it's beautiful to see people aligning with their path and what lights up their soul.
Absolutely. The world needs more of that, right?
It does. And it's so amazing watching you in that space and how you help women and all the magical offerings you do. And I just feel blessed that you're in Broome and we get to really enjoy everything that Anna offers. It's incredible.
Oh, thank you. Oh, look, Leah, Broome is very blessed to have such incredible people, including yourself. I know that when I came to do the float painting workshop, that was so much fun. And for me personally, I've never really been that kind of creative. And yet here I was painting, just chilling out, having a great time, listening to some lovely music, eating some soul nourishing food, and drawing and painting something that now is hanging up on my front veranda. And it was such a fun experience. It was something new, it was something different, and it was really like tapping into a different element of creativity. I feel that in this small town, we're just so blessed with all the options that we have to express and explore creativity and feel supported within our journey, not only within for ourselves personally, but within business as well, and the things that we're bringing and sharing out into the world.
Amazing. Yes. And it was so nice to have you there. And you painted such a beautiful float. And that's one of the other things that really lights me up is I get so many people say, I'm not an artist, I can't paint, I can't create. And it's like, well, yes, you can. Come on, let's do it. And to see that moment with them where they're like, oh, I made something and I like it. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'm a testimony for you there that, you don't have to be an artist to paint a float. It's totally fine.
100%.
Make it as creative as you want. Yeah, I'm actually now walking on the beach looking for more so I can start doing some more at home.
Yay!
Just like,
I love hearing that.
And just like you encourage your girls to do the artwork, I'm wanting like, yep, me and Ava could do that. We'll just get all really messy and,
Yeah. Just see where it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Leah, I'm so grateful that you came onto the show today and took some time to share your experience of mindset coaching with me, but also your journey into the art world and what you are sharing and bringing out into the world now through your business as you're doing a small little tiny little pivot. But I know that there is going to be so much more exciting things coming from you and the work that you do and share. So thank you so much for being here. I've really enjoyed our conversation. You've just shared so much wisdom that I know so many people will resonate with and understand. And I truly hope it inspires them also to take the leap into following their dreams within the art world as well.
Thank you so much. I've enjoyed it so much, Anna, and really appreciate you having me on.
Yay, fabulous.
Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to today's episode. Please rate and review this podcast so that it can continue to thrive and reach more listeners. I love to know who my listeners are, so please screenshot this episode and tag me on Instagram at Anna F. Hastie. And I look forward to connecting with you in the next episode.